everyone, it's Stacy with Sew Steady. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are very excited to be finishing up the gorgeous Churn quilt that my mom, Mendy, created using her Quilt dye system. So this is a version of our Elevate Box class series. We're focused on kind of showing the creation of that Churn block, and then of course how to embroider quilt it using our EmbroideLee quilt design. So today we're finishing up that project. Mendy is going to be taking you through how she's quilting this project using the multi-quilt hoop designs on her sewing machine. So I'm going to go ahead and let her take it away. I do want to go ahead and announce to everyone that we have an amazing opportunity for you to enter into our partner giveaways for the summer. And we've got I think there's 10 different prizes that we're giving away, over $400 in value. Actually, I think it's over $1,000 in value. We've got 3 different hit the floor quilt project kits, including fabric by Big Designs and hand bag felts. We have 3 different fabric bundles that are available now in quilt shops by In the Beginning Fabric that you're going to absolutely love. We've got 2 different mini quilt irons by Clover USA. And then finally, we have this amazing thread collection that is provided by Wonderful Threads. So all kinds of amazing partner giveaways. We're going to be announcing all of those giveaways during our live on September 18th. So you need to get entered into the drawing so we can pick you as a winner during our next box launch again on September 18th. So I'm going to be posting a link to that during our live here today. But first, let me go ahead and let Mendy start taking it away. She's going to be again taking you through the multi-quilt hooping of her Churn table topper project. The project in all is 36 by 36. All the instructions and fabric supplies are located on the EmbroideLee Club page on the Sew Steady University if you're a Club Box member. So if you're not, contact us and we can share with you how to get started. You can join anytime. We just don't have an option to buy into our subscription outside of the last 2 weeks of every quarter. So, but if you do want to join the club, don't worry, you can still buy into the club box for the Churn now. You just need to give us a call. We'll get you connected to one of our amazing resellers. It's a club store, and they can get you going. So, Mendy, we're going to have you take it away. Thanks, everyone.
Hi, everybody. Mendy Tippets with Sew Steady here. We're back and ready to do the finishing touches on this quilted top, Churn table topper. You might remember that I actually made 2 quilt tops. I reversed it. So we have one side where we have the floral in the solid blocks and one side where we have the pink in the solid blocks. So I've decided to just make this a reversible table topper. So in doing that, the special thing that you have to do is make sure that this is perfectly aligned, because my designs are going to be in the center of each one of these blocks, right? So my challenge is to make sure that front and back are perfectly aligned. And I did spend some time with that. You can see I've got a few pins in here to make sure that it stays there. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use white thread on this side and kind of a deep purple blue on the other side. And I just thought that might be kind of fun to have 2 different stories. We're going to use the EmbroideLee Churn collection. And out of that collection, we're going to use the design labeled CD6 full, 8-inch. And I have resized it up to 8.98. Okay, so we're going to get started here by marking our first block because I want to make sure that I get it centered. And these are 9-inch blocks. I did do some cutting on these, trimming, I guess is the right word. And so they're a little bit undersized right now. So I just want to make sure, let me get my tape here. I want to find the center of this right here. This is 3 inches, so 1.5, there it is. 1.5 going that way, and 1.5 going this way. All right, so I've got my center point there. So let's bring this back, and we're going to put that right there, and then get this squared up, which I think I do have it squared up. A little bit like that. Okay, so now I'm going to mark that, mark that. All I'm really doing is I want to get my center for my needle, exactly where I want my needle. And I also want to extend this. Let me make sure I got back on my marks. There we go. I also want to make sure I'm going to extend my markings because I want to use that same line in the row that I'm embroidering, and I'm going to do it acrosswise too, so that everything across will touch. Okay. All right, so I'm happy with that. Let me go ahead and get this hooped, and then I'm going to meet you back at the sewing machine. Okay, so I've got the project in the hoop. I've got it on the machine, and I did get it centered right here with my red laser dot. I do notice that that laser dot to me always seems to be a little bit too far to the right of the needle, so I tend to line up my project to the right of my markings, and as long as I'm consistent, everything shows up. It's minuscule, but that's what I do. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're gonna put our foot down, and we're gonna let this fly. Oh, I do want to cut my thread on top. I had quite a little tag here, or I mean string. So let me cut that before we get started so I don't have excess thread on the front here. Okay, whoops. Hard to see. Okay, so now I think we're ready to go. I'm going to get the camera a little bit away from the sewing machine so that it's not jiggling. All right, here we go. Oh, no, sorry, I cut too much off. All right, let's get this needle up. All right, foot down. All right, take it back to the to 0, and let's try this again. Here we go. Okay, so here it is on the reverse side. I'm really happy with how it came out. So I had them properly aligned. Let me flip it over. And then here it is on the front side. And I found this material to be very difficult to find a thread that really pops. So I think because this one had more pink solids, I went with the white on this side. But I'm very happy with our alignment. So we're going to go ahead and get block 2 here right below, marked and hooped. And then I'll meet you back at the sewing machine. Okay, now we're ready for round 2. So let's go ahead and get this lined up here. Okay, it appears that it centered itself. I guess that means I hooped very well. But let's go ahead and get going. Round 2. Okay, so I think you can see why I picked white for this side with this pink center. It really shows, and I have a hard time having anything show on the flowers. So, all right, so now we're ready to do the third one in the line. I'll meet you back at the table. Okay, so here it is on the back side, and I used the darker thread again so you can see the design there. And then let's show you the full design on this side. Let me get it in the camera. So there is the full design on this side. Okay, so I'm going to flip the project around so I don't have the extra fabric next to the sewing machine, and we're going to do the last one in the row up here next. So let me get that one marked and hooped, and I'll meet you back at the sewing machine. Okay, back of the sewing machine for round 3. I've got it centered. We're going to put our foot down, and we're going to tell it go. Okay, that's one row of 3 down and 2 more rows to go. I think I'll just take it from here and I'll show you what I'm doing in a little bit. Okay, so here we are. We've got 7 of the 9 squares quilted together with the real fun floral design. And I just love it for spring. I think it goes with the flower material here and, well, summer, I guess, actually. So now we're ready to do this one. I've got it all hooped and we'll take it to the sewing machine, get it on there, and we'll watch the last 2. I'll be right back. Okay, I have this on the machine. Let's go ahead and get it centered. And, oh, I just about have it perfectly centered already. Let's just move it a little bit here. Okay. Put the foot down and let's let it go. Oh, sorry, the thread came out. Let me get it threaded real quick. All right, give that to me. Don't want it, there we go. Didn't want it behind the needle. All right. Love the self threading function. Okay, let's try it again. Oh, let me go back to 0. Okay. Okay, one last one left to do. I'll be right back. Okay, only one left to do now. I love how this design comes out. I think it's so pretty. Okay, so now I've already marked the last one. So let's just get my hoop. I always put it on my cutting mat here. And I want to get it. So it's on, let's put it on 20 over here. That'll give me a little more room. Get that there, that there. Okay, let's bring this over. And, oh, that's the thing. You got to be very careful not to move it while you're moving your fabric. But, you know, stuff happens. Okay, so let's see here. Let's try to lift it into place. It's on the far end, and we're going to just lightly drag it down to there. All right, let's get the fabric underneath out of the way here. Bring it over more like that. Okay, so I'm going to put my finger, not quite centered, but really close. There we go. Let's see now. Yep, that's a good one. All right, so let's put the hoop on here. I really love getting it pre-marked so that I've got my up vertical and horizontal lines. And that helps me get it hooped the first time so much easier accurately. And when you're trying to connect designs, that's kind of important. Okay, I like it there. Not sure I like it there. Okay, let's get that pulled over a little bit. All right, and this up a little bit. All right. Get that tightened up, and then lowered my thing. I need to get my ruler that's over here. There we go. Sorry. And we're gonna see how straight I am. Ooh, pretty straight. Okay. So now we're ready to go back to the sewing machine. So I'll be right back. Okay, last one. Let's go ahead and get this centered. Let's get our little red dot going there. Okay. I think I like it. Let's put that down and go. let's take it off and take a look at the final product here. I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are at the pressing table. So now I can lay it out and I can really see the end result. I love it. Let's look at the reverse side. I'll have to take out some little white threads that have come up from the bottom, but for the most part, there is no, no leaking of the white on here. And you would see that on the pink fabric if there had been. But I love it. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're gonna iron off all the markings because that was an erasable Friction pen that I used. Sometimes I use chalk, but I've had some situations where I've had really kind of a hard time getting some of the white chalk off of. So if I can use a Friction pen, that would be my go-to option. Okay, now because we have these cute little buttons that have been included in our box, I think what I'm going to do, here they are, and I think what I'm going to do is, and we have buttons, we have butterflies and flowers. So what I was thinking about doing is putting these pink ones on the white material. So that's how I decide where the pink goes, no matter whether it's a flower or a butterfly. And let's see, yep, I got one more pink here. So 1, 2, so we'll put this one over here in this far corner. And let's see here, let's put a blue one there and a blue one here, and we'll put that purple there and blue there and purple here. So I'm gonna go ahead and sew those on because just to kind of punctuate the design and make it just extra cute. So that is the game plan. Right now, okay, so here is the final project. My camera got fully loaded at the last video, so the magic of, I guess, cooking, where you come back and it's all done. So I have the buttons sewn on, I've got the binding sewn on. Let me see if I can get over here and I'll show you the back real quick. So we've got the back now. Maybe I can show it to you a little bit better this way. So the binding, the flower binding on this side, no buttons over here, but ta-da! I think it turned out great. I hope you enjoyed the project as much as I did. Okay, we'll see you next time.
Hi, everyone. I wanted to answer a couple questions that came in and then just remind you to sign up to win. Again, I provided that link earlier, but that is for our amazing Elevate Summer Partner giveaways that are going through September 18th when we launch our next box. So enter to win. Here's the code. On the questions that came in, one of the questions was what size of block was Mendy creating, and that was actually a 9-inch block. She was using the IQ Quilt Churn Dash die, and that creates the 9-inch block. So in translation and creating that design with our Spinifex rulers, we would recommend probably the 7.5 and the 5.5 inch ruler designs to quilt that. Next, the question came in on the type of batting, and she is using a cotton, a poly cotton blend, but it's a fusible batting, so it is actually pretty thin. And so I can find out the exact name of it and have her comment on the post or the video today. But I know that she does like to use the fusible batting because it adds a little extra rigidity or, you know, kind of keeps everything together nicely. So those are our answers to the questions. Again, our summer partner giveaways, there is kind of some bonus opportunities to win throughout. So as you get in there and check out the options, the number one thing you need to do to be able to win is you need to go ahead and go to the page. So I gave you the link to the page. This is where we say, you know, step one, complete the sign up form below. So the number one thing you'd have to do is complete the sign up form. And let me show you what that looks like. So here's the page that I just put a link for you on. As you scroll down, number one thing to do is complete the sign up form. So you scroll down, here's the sign up form. Complete that sign up form. Now, the next thing to do is we would love for you to go out there and check out some of our partners. So in the beginning fabric, big designs, they definitely want you to get in there, check out what they have to offer. I will tell you, I'm in love with obviously the fabric in the beginning and Jason Yinter and all of the designs that he has. And the big designs and Premier Prints, they offer so much fun outdoor or canvas fabric that's ideal for being able to do like those floor quilts. We've got some really fun projects that we're going to be showing off this next quarter using some of that fabric as well. So it'd be really fun to win one of these kits. And then, of course, Clover USA and those awesome mini irons, which will be incredibly helpful as you're making these mini quilt blocks that we have for each of our boxes. And, of course, you know, just anything kind of in the sewing room when you're or even when you're traveling, really, really helpful to have those little irons. And then we are teaming up with Wonderfill, and they're offering an amazing collector set as a giveaway. So enter to win to be able to be part of those. And again, thank you so much for joining today to watch the finishing of that gorgeous the Churn quilt that Mendy created. We've got more live education this week. Shauna Rendon is going to be joining us tomorrow, and she is going to be quilting one of our bonus practice panels and designs. So if you are excited about that opportunity, that's going to be a ruler quilting class, but there is an opportunity to get a free embroidery design. So check your emails for that. That'll be the embroidery design we're highlighting tomorrow. So that wouldn't be so bad to have if you have one of those awesome embroidery machines. I did see someone comment, this makes them want to get an embroidery machine. And I will say, we highly recommend the opportunity for both. You know, we believe that having those tools in your sewing room just makes your quilting experience a little bit easier at times. So, of course, we want you ruler quilting as much as possible. But having the opportunity to use them together can sometimes be even better. So and we try to show you that in all of the amazing education that we create, where we kind of do a little bit of both. So again, then on Friday, we're actually finishing up the summer camp project by Nampan. She's going to be doing the ruler quilting on that, maybe even a little embroidery quilting. So again, a little bit of both. So I definitely encourage you to tune in for that class as well. So we've got lots more live education this week. We can't wait for you to join us. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you hopefully tomorrow. Thanks, everyone.